All right. Well, welcome to today's special interview. I got Zach Young in our virtual studio. So, Zach, how you doing, my
Hello.
friend?
Doing awesome, man. How are you doing, Gabe?
Doing good. So, I'm going to tell a quick story of how Zach and I met. And before I do that, I want to share just a brief about the purpose of today's interview. And this interview is going to be about Zach's Amazon FBA business. And Zach's been really successful in the Amazon FBA space. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Amazon FBA, it's fulfillment by Amazon. I'll let Zach get into the details of how this works, but I like to have folks on the show that have built businesses. Zach's one of the non-guru types. We were kind of joking before this. I had literally had to twist Zach's arm to have him come out and share with us. In fact, I messaged you, Zach. When was that? About 3 or 4 months ago, and
Yeah,
and it just timing wasn't right, but we circled back around. So before we
yeah.
kick off,
Gabe, real quick. It's just because you don't have six kids yet and you weren't moving halfway across the country. You didn't, I don't think you fully grasped what I was going through, but someday you will.
hopefully not actually. Sarah and I,
Maybe not the move, but everyone should have six kids, you know.
oh my gosh. Well, I want to talk about that, and that's why I wanted to have you on, Zach, because you and I shared this minimalist approach to business, and you've built a six-figure net profit income. And that's important. Not a lot of people talk about big incomes, especially in the home business space, but this is net profits in your pocket. In fact, your gross sales on Amazon. Let me pull up your stats here. We're just over just 769,883 for last year, 2014. So over 3/4 of a million in gross sales, and then your net profit was 225,000. So we're gonna get into the story of how you did this, but real quick, I first met Zach. Probably 2 or 3 years ago at an internet marketing event, him and his wife Natalie, and they're just salt of the earth people, super sincere. You guys have hearts of gold, and we stayed in touch over the years, and just kind of poked back and forth. And I was watching your Facebook feed, and a couple months ago, I started seeing you posting about the success that you were having on Amazon FBA, which has been an interest of mine this year. And you and I have been around the same programs, and I saw you posting some things, and so I said, "Hey, Zach, I just got to interview and find out how this stuff works." So before we talk about your full story, could you well, there we got your office partner.
Hello.
Just very quickly, what is Amazon FBA for those that maybe never heard of it before?
Yeah, absolutely. Amazon FBA, as you stated, Gabe, it stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. And the awesome thing is it's pretty much like you have your own warehouse, your own crew that works for you. They fulfill all your orders. So like when someone goes onto Amazon, okay, you list a product on Amazon, you send your inventory into an Amazon warehouse. It's called an FBA fulfillment center, right? And so someone gets on Amazon, that they buy your product, and then what will happen is Amazon processes the payment, they fill the order, they pick it, they pack it, they ship it to your customer. Then they send you a little email saying, "Hey, we just shipped this item that you sold," right? And then if you ever have like any customer returns, they handle all that too. So really, what it enables you to do is you can focus strictly on sourcing product out, connecting with suppliers, finding product, and managing your inventory. And so you're pretty much like the CEO overseeing everything, and then people that really, in my opinion, if you're wanting to make 6 and 7 figures, you need to think like a 6 and 7 figure CEO, and so most 6 and 7 figure CEOs aren't doing something that you could pay someone $8 an hour to do, like the processing orders, like all that stuff's important, the shipping stuff to people's houses. But really that becomes a bottleneck because it doesn't allow you to scale up. So, I think FBA is just amazing. I mean, it's a brilliant concept and it's definitely a viable business model.
Yeah, so and this is why I wanted to talk to you, Zach, because you've nailed this down. You're not. We joke like you're not an internet marketing guru. You're a regular guy. You're a stay-at-home dad. You love your family. I think that's a big reason why you got into this business. How long have you been full-time stay-at-home, by the way?
I would say maybe 4 or 5 years. I've kind of lost track. Good stay at home, like not stressful, crazy roller coaster ride, escaping from the rat race into corporate America, taking the leap of faith and almost shipwrecking. The past couple years has been really good, but to get to that point, it definitely was not a walk in the park, to say the least.
Okay, good. Well, let's just keep it real for this interview, and I want to hear about your backstory. So, we're gonna, for those of you watching, this is a little bit unique from a lot of the interviews we do. This is a video interview, so I'm gonna spend the first maybe 10 or so minutes asking Zach about a story, and then we'll spend a little bit of time talking about what's working now, how you're running the Amazon business and the ins and outs. But I think your story is important because a lot of people see your success and they see the success on the top of the mountain, but they don't see the struggle that led up to it, and that's all part of the journey. So, how did you first get into this space? I know you have been in other businesses, you've been in network marketing and different things before you got into Amazon. So what got you started with the Amazon biz?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I probably for the past 14 or 15 years, like I always had a desire to like work from home or to do something entrepreneurial. Like even when I was working in corporate America, 50 to 60 hours a week, whether I was making 20 or 30 grand a year in corporate America or 60, 70 grand, 80 grand, it didn't matter. Like I didn't like not having freedom, and that changed as my wife and I continued to have children. It's just like, do I want every day of my life to be, wake up, see them off to school or say goodbye if they're staying at home, go to work all day, work from like 8 or 9 until 6, 7, 8 at night, get home, hopefully be there to eat dinner with them, tuck them in bed, and know I'm waking up the next day to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, that was not the lifestyle I wanted to live. So, for 14, 15 years, I wove in and out of pretty much every home party, MLM, network marketing, home biz op, surveys, pretty much you name it. I probably tried it. Right. And it wasn't until a few years ago, the internet marketing company that we were both in together, to where I was exposed to people, in that niche, in that space. And I learned some things, applied them, and became successful. But I was like 1 out of 1%, just like yourself. You were one of the top 1% earners in that company that were making money. So like for guys like you and me, that was hard on us to see all these people we brought in wanting to see them experience the same success.
Mm-hmm.
And like 99% of them didn't. And it's just like, something's wrong here, So I knew that wasn't a viable model. So while I was working on that, I kind of part-time started messing around with eBay and Amazon.
Okay.
Like I'd always had like a desire to do it just because, they're household names. It's like when someone says eBay or Amazon, like everyone knows what you're talking about. If you say XYZ affiliate company, people might look at you cross-eyed, like, another pyramid scheme or what are you talking about?
Right.
So I just knew that this would be more viable, but I needed to learn how to do it. So like I kind of part-time like just started messing around with I had a bunch of old used books that I listed on Amazon because the first thing I thought of, people think like I need to get a book, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'll go to Amazon. Amazon has books. So and a lot of people still think, that's primarily what Amazon has, but they've expanded way beyond that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I started doing eBay and Amazon like part-time, listing stuff and shipping it as it sold. And I think I was working like maybe 10 to 20 hours a week on it. And I think 1 month only working 10 to 20 hours a week. This was before I knew anything about FBA. I made like a few grand profit in a month, which was pretty cool, with eBay and Amazon, because I really didn't have any gurus teaching me or didn't have any courses. Like I was just kind of like barreling through it on my own, trying to figure it out. And, you deal with all the fears of, well, how am I going to ship it? Or how am I going to get labels if it sells? And, do I have to go to the post office or are they going to come get it? Like all these things of like, I just worked through all that. Right. Just figured it out as I took action. So, that all led up to, I was in some other marketing companies and we got into this drop shipping program. So like there's an info program out there that teaches people how to drop ship, which I believe it's a great business model. There's things I don't like about it, but like it's a great place for a lot of people to start, right? So I learned a lot of techniques in there for sourcing product and stuff like that. And I became really successful with drop shipping. Like within my first month, I went through this info product they had. It cost like $500. And I think I made like 2,000 or 3,000 profit, like in my first month of applying it. But what I started to find out was a lot of people were copying what I was doing. Like we were all modeling the same thing. We started listing the same products. but even apart from that, like, I think there's millions of products out there, so there's plenty to go around. So like, I don't operate out of a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's plenty. It's like a mindset of abundance. We can all share, we can work together, or you just find stuff people aren't selling. So that wasn't the big deter that said, I don't really like drop shipping. Probably the biggest thing was what I was speaking of earlier. I noticed that if I wanted to scale up that business model, it's like the more I sold, the more I manually had to process. And so it's like if I had 20 sales that day, then and my wife and I were out, like, and it was on my mind. Like, I'd see it on my phone. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to go to my supplier and get it before they sell out of the product. I hope I can still get this product. And if the people don't get it soon enough, that can affect my rating on Amazon and all these things. And so it's like we'd be hanging out, my wife and I, and I'm like, I got to go process 20 orders. And she's like, how long is that going to take? I'm like, I don't know. I'll go as fast as I can. And like 2 hours later, it's like, it's like, man, this is not going to work. Cause, I ended up selling, like, with FBA, fast forward to FBA, I sold over 22,000 units last year. So I'm just thinking, like, my gosh, how are you going to do that drop shipping? So the answer is you would have to, like, train someone and outsource that if you want to scale that up. And that has to be someone that you, like, trust your life with. Like, I know people that have tried outsourcing those tasks, manually filling orders, you're giving them payment info to buy the products for you. If they don't do it right, your eBay account's going to get shut down, or your Amazon account's going to get shut down, and that business is over. So, I started exploring FBA, and at the time there wasn't a lot of stuff out there on FBA, so I started digging into it, like, towards the end of December of the previous year, January of last year, and then I just started taking action towards, like, mid to end January on things that I learned. I got on Google, I got on Amazon, I looked for books. I just anything I could find related to Amazon FBA, forums, anything. Like, I just soaked it up like a sponge, and then I just started going to work and applying what I was learning, and it pretty much took off from there.
Interesting. So you're throwing around a lot of acronyms. So I want to make sure that people are clear when you're talking about drop shipping, for example. So your story, and this is so interesting, Zach. You and I have so much in common. You started off in traditional home business. You tried a million different things, and I think anyone that's been an entrepreneur that wants to get out of the corporate race, just out of curiosity, what kind of work in corporate America were you doing when you back then?
I did sales management, marketing. Like, I think at 19 years old, I was a manager of a Foot Locker store.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity. I was like, am I going to go college, or am I going to, do something else? And although I made good grades and all that jazz, like, I didn't have a desire to go to college.
Yeah.
I just didn't. So I kind of accidentally fell into the retail sales management industry, and that's just kind of the career path I went in. So I've sold furniture, manufactured homes, shoes, just
Okay.
stuff like that. That's kind of what I got into.
Cool. So no fancy background. You didn't have your uncle wasn't Frank Kern. Your cousin's not Ryan Dice, right? So
Correct.
you got into the home business space, struggled with many companies. It sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
So there's two shifts that I want to talk about in your story, because this is the important part. Is there's you're a regular guy, and the information's out there for anybody. You went and found the information, and any info product or training, like, we have access to the internet, so we have access to the information. That's not what people need. We live in an era with information overload. There's a mental shift that happened inside of you. Two shifts that I noticed in your story. One was your first breakthrough in the home business industry, and the second one was shifting from drop shipping into FBA. So, and I'm curious about the first one and the second one. So when you were struggling in the home business, and then you had success, made it to the top 1% of that company, what was that internal shift that happened in you? Like, what happened that caused you to go from struggle to reaching the top 1% of a comp plan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might sound kind of cliche, but it was really, that scripture, that says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So, like, I really just grasped that, like, in a nutshell, like, the thoughts that I entertain in my mind produces the results I experience in real life. And I really never grabbed hold of that, the ideology or those principles. So, I was exposed to some info products that really geared hard towards motivational stuff, of just having the right mindset, being positive, expecting good things to happen, believing you can do it. That's a big thing. Like, people are crippled by fear. Yeah, I was crippled by fear. they make every excuse under the sun to not succeed. It's like, I'm getting ready to get ready, or I got to learn more. It just, once I watch this one more info product, I'll be ready to go
Right.
do it. It's just, so like, that was me. It was just like, I was all over the place. I didn't have focus. I didn't have a vision, a specific goals. It was just like, I knew I wanted out of the rat race, but it's like I had no clue what to do in the home biz. So I would just kind of flutter in and out of everything every 2 to 3 months. And I faced a lot of rejection because I was doing it wrong, from like, trying to get grandma involved and all your brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins and friends. And, it's just like, well, there's another one. And that's another thing I love about FBA. It's just like, it's kind of a side note, but it's like, you can make money without having to recruit people to buy your stuff.
Woo! Praise the Lord, right?
Exactly.
We joke, but that's a breath of fresh air, man. There's a lot of we joke with this, the NFL club, right? The no friends left. You've called all your friends away. So but that's part of the entrepreneur journey, right?
Yeah, it is.
I haven't met any multimillionaires that haven't been to the top down. You got to go through that struggle. So there was a mindset shift. I know someone's going to ask this question, Zach, so I got to ask you. In that business, that was an info product business, right? There's a continuity model with it. So people hear mindset all the time, and we can talk about faith, we can talk about scripture, and I believe there's so much wisdom in scriptures and what the Bible says about personal development. It's just an overlooked gold mine of resource.
Absolutely.
What were the tangible income producing activities though? So that business, and I'm going to shift gears. So you kind of turn the corner from traditional network marketing into the direct response world. I'll use that word because really internet marketing is just a medium, is direct response. And so when I say direct response, that's you as an entrepreneur, as a publisher, you share some content, someone goes to your landing page, they opt in, they watch your sales video, they pull out their credit card and they buy. There's no middleman there. There's no Amazon, eBay. It's just you directly to your customer. And this works in all different niches, weight loss, business, relationships. This is just good old fashioned direct response. And it's been around for years, right? Back in the old day before the internet, they were mailing out physical. Direct response was like mailing out physical letters to your customers, and you'd mail out a couple thousand cards and get back in the old day when people still enjoyed getting mail before all the spam mail, it's like, oh, I got this letter from this guy, and that's where it came from. But what were just out of curiosity, if you had to narrow down the 20% of your activities that produced that first shift in the bulk of your revenue, and I don't know how much money you made in that company, that's irrelevant, but what were those? People want to know, I get the mindset, what do I need to be doing though with that mindset?
Yeah. Well, the first practical thing, and I know what you're getting at on income producing activities, but something big I had to hit on is having a goal card. Like every day before you start doing your work, like even if you sit down for like 5 minutes just to look at your goal card, visualize it, emotionally get involved with it. Like that's a whole nother topic on a session on how to do that. But you know what I'm saying. So. Yeah. So that's important because once again, that like you're focusing on your bullseye. So like if you don't know what your target is, you aren't going to hit it. So like you need to have that mindset every day you go to work of, this is my why. Like this is why I'm doing it. So you don't sit down and you're just like, messing around on Facebook or wondering if you should watch another training video or really not knowing what to do. So like you got to get really specific. And in that niche, really it's I guess connecting with your audience, identifying who your target audience is. And then you either use free mediums such as blogging or social media, posting stuff in newsfeed. I did a lot of Facebook messaging, connecting with people, creating Facebook events. So it's really just sharing your story, creating some small results, sharing those results, and people see the results. They end up joining, and then it just kind of creates a cycle, of more people join, you make more money, you tell how much money you're making, and that's kind of it. And you develop influence in your followers' lives. You provide a tremendous amount of value to them. So really, the income producing activities, it's kind of, I hate to say this, but it's true. I mean, people are people, and we love connecting with them, but it is a numbers game. There's so many people out there that are going to say no, they aren't interested in what you're doing. And you've just got to filter through all those. So, either building an email list, doing a Facebook PPC campaign, stuff like that is income producing activity. So like, unless you're continuing to expand your audience, whether it's through adding Facebook friends or connecting with people in group or building an email list, you aren't going to have success in that type of niche if people like that business model, or, if that's what you're going for. So
Hmm.
that's kind of the main things I focused on. So, I mean, like the organization stuff, the paperwork, the busy work, like that stuff, some of it's important, but that should take up 10% of your time.
Hmm.
You should be fully focused on connecting with people, in that type of niche. So,
Yeah, that's the good old fashioned getting ready to get ready, right? One of my
yeah,
original mentors, Jeffrey Combs, talked about that. Pushing papers around your desk, right? It's not gonna pay the bills. So you're saying
no,
income producing activities as being in front of your customer, Facebook messaging, Facebook posts, and that's just through your personal fan page. This wasn't even through like a fan page, right? Just your
yeah,
account,
yeah, just my own personal
and
account.
then Facebook ads were successful for you. And is this when you first started building an email list as well?
Yeah, well, I did some Facebook PPC, and then just like solo ads, had a little bit of success with those. I never quite mastered that that thing. So I don't know why, but yeah, I know a lot of people that have done really well with solo ads, but I didn't do so hot with them. So I probably have more success with the social media scene and Facebook PPC, connecting with people on a more personal level that way.
Yeah.
So
Okay, cool. Well, you and I shared that. I think in that particular opportunity, I recruited it was like over 110 people in a matter of around 9 or 10 months, and I would say probably about a third of my organization came from Facebook, from private messaging, and then like you said, you have some early success. Like this is how I started the business too. I made my first $100 a month residual. I forget how many customers it took to do that. So I'd post up on Facebook, hey, I just started this new business, made some money. People would join, and then you create a cycle of success, and you just keep rolling that momentum into. So it's the little things though. But cool. Well, let's fast forward. So because your story, I think, is really parallel to a lot of people's stories. They go through traditional network marketing into internet marketing, that kind of hybrid space, or the attraction marketing space. Then you said, hey, this is great. I'm making money. And so when you cross that hurdle and you make money, then you turn around and say, well, how can I help more people, right, have the freedom that
yeah.
I have? And that's the same thing that I went through too. And I don't know the stats. I mean, out of my organization at the time, I recruited 100 something. I think it duplicated to like 200 plus. So it over doubled with my team's duplication. But that came from, out of the 100 plus that I brought in, I would say there was probably like 6 or 7 that really duplicated, and the rest didn't. So then it's like, okay, how can I help more people have the freedom that I have? And I'm guessing, had you guys had all 6 kids at this point too? I mean, you have a full house, or were they still
Um,
coming?
they were still coming. We were probably up to 4 or 5 at the time, because our youngest is 11 months,
Okay.
and then we have a 2-year old, a 4-year old, 6-year old, 8-year old, and an 11-year old.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I kind of get mixed up. My time, especially when I left corporate America, it's like time's just kind of a blur. You
Yeah.
kind of lose track of days sometimes, and so
So
sometimes I forget the year I'm in. Yeah.
yeah, well, I can imagine, man. I saw your picture on Facebook of what groceries looks like for a family of 8. So it's just got to be nuts, man. You were telling me a story too the other day. You guys had a snow day and you had a bunch of like 18 kids over at your house or something. But anyways,
Yeah, yeah, that was
so
awesome.
so you made the shift. You recognized e-commerce, and I don't want to get into. I made a video about this. I can maybe post it on the site later. Of the just e-commerce has been taken off, right? With the internet, with Amazon over the past couple of years, it's been growing like crazy year after year into the billions with a B of sales. And if you look at Amazon versus all of the other competitors, Amazon's just a runaway giant in this space. So you started drop shipping, and just to clarify, drop shipping is where you source a product online. Let's say you source a product on Amazon as an example, and then you go relist it. Just take a picture of that product on your computer and then relist it on a site like eBay or Craigslist or different places. And then when someone buys that product, you don't ever take inventory of it. You just go back to your supplier, click order, and then put your customer shipping address in so it ships directly to your customer. So that's drop shipping. And you started doing this model, this isn't anything new. This is one of the original, how to make money online opportunities. It's been around forever. But you noticed a couple things. One is the time involved. So there's a lot of time involved. The margins aren't super, super sexy. What happened? But you had some success early, and then you shifted gears into Amazon. So what was that second shift that happened when you
Well,
were having success, and then you shifted gears into FBA?
yeah. Well, I mean, as I kept seeing these listings when I would list stuff. Like I'd see, it said Prime, like these sellers are Prime, and I'm like, Prime, Prime. Why? And I would see them like winning. I don't even know if I knew what the buy box was yet. I can't remember, but like, um, I think I did maybe as I was drop shipping, I learned as one in the buy box, and it was like, wow, when I'm in that thing, I'm selling like crazy. But I would notice like these prime sellers, like priced $4 or $5, sometimes even more higher than me, and they were winning the buy box. And it was just like, I got to look into that. So like, because I knew about FBA when I was doing the books, but like to me, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the value that Prime customers would pay more to get it faster, to know Amazon's handling it, to know it's a hassle-free return policy. Like I didn't have that knowledge. So all I saw is there's these FBA fees. Amazon's trying to make more. I'm sending my inventory into them. What if it doesn't sell? Is Amazon going to send it back to me? Or, why am I going to pay them $2 or $3 more per unit when, I can do it myself,
Yeah.
and make more money.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my thought process. But when I dug more into it and I just saw all the benefits that I shared with you, from a customer standpoint, like there's millions of Prime subscribers. People pay $79 to $99 a year to Amazon, to watch free streaming videos, to mainly have 2 day shipping. They get free shipping on their items, and they can go on one click ordering. They type in the item they want, add to cart, check out, it's done. It's usually to your house within a day or two. And you can't offer that as what they call merchant fulfilled, meaning if I list something on Amazon that I did not ship into them to have it fulfilled through FBA, I have to personally ship it to them on my own. And you just can't compete with Amazon shipping rates. I mean, or their speed and stuff.
Yeah.
So as I learned that people will pay more and that ultimately I don't have to do any of this stuff, like, yeah, I could be making more per unit if I was doing it myself. But if I have them doing it, then I can find more units. My sole responsibility becomes sourcing product, connecting with suppliers, and managing inventory. And
Okay.
that's it. So I can put all my focus, time, and energy, like those are my main income producing activities in this business, right? So
Okay.
if I'm doing that majority of my time daily, then it pays for itself many times over, the FBA, just because it frees you up a time, which again, we're looking for not only financial freedom in this industry and space, but time freedom, and I don't know if you want me to hit on time. I'm sure you were going to get to that at some point. But the crazy thing is that 225,000 net profit. I really didn't even get to cranking with FBA until like the end of January, beginning of February. And then I was getting my feet wet. I was starting small, scaling up, learning the ropes. Wasn't super aggressive. I was, I guess, aggressive as I could be, like without, putting myself out there with tens of thousands in inventory. I would start small. It worked. Then I'd put more into it. It worked. I'd put more into it. So initially, it took more time. I might spend 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 hours a day on it. But once I got my inventory built up, it pretty much all I had to do was replenish. So terminology for replenish means that, if I ordered 100 units and I'm selling 10 a day, and after 5 days, I know I only have 50 left, it's probably going to take 4 or 5 days to get new inventory into Amazon if I order it, then that would be replenishing. So like I place another order for 100 items, I have them sent into Amazon. So that way, when my other 50 get sold through, I always have inventory and I'm not missing sales. So, I really, I think I had 20 to 25 solid SKUs like that I could replenish last year. And a
Okay.
SKU is just a product or an item that you can sell.
Okay.
And once I got it all set up, I would probably average, 15 minutes a day throughout the whole year.
You're
Like
kidding me.
you were, no, yeah, you remember when we,
You,
when you
you
connected
just
with me.
you just made a lot of people mad, but that's okay.
No, it's it's funny, because I have a group where I train people, and I told them I just got to looking at it towards the end of the year, and it's like, where am I getting the most return from my time? And it's like, okay, so this group where I'm training these people how to do all this stuff, I made like around 9 grand last year from that, and I probably spent as much time, if not 2 times the amount, to make 9 grand as I did to make 225 grand on Amazon. It's just like that's nuts, but it's because you're leveraging their system,
Yeah.
and I learned the skill sets and the things you had to do in order to do that. But my kids, like when they're out of school, I'm with them. You got spring break, Christmas break, summer break. So like we were doing halfway across the country move from Charlotte, North Carolina to the Midwest to Southwest Missouri. Um, so it's like when they're home all the time, I can't be spending 4 or 5 hours at a time in here. Like my wife would go crazy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you made me have all these kids. No, she doesn't do that. But yeah, you can imagine. It's just like I'm gonna go work, honey. You take care of all the
Yeah.
kids. That I had part in. So
So now Natalie doesn't work either, right? She's stay at home mom.
no, yeah. She's thankfully been able to stay at home.
What a blessing, man.
Yeah, it's
I tell you
awesome.
what, Zach, your story is inspiring. I don't Sarah and I just got married a little over a year ago, and we don't have kids yet, but this is growing up, my original inspiration to be an entrepreneur was that I knew someday I'd be a father, and I did not want to be the dad that was working in corporate America for 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I wanted to be home. I wanted to be with my kids and give them a childhood, to be able to have the time freedom to be with them and travel around the world. I mean, my parents were missionaries when I was a kid, so I got to live in Guatemala. I don't know if you knew this, but my folks moved. My dad was like a VP of a bank, sold our house, moved to St. Louis to go to seminary for 3 years, and then took his vicarage in Guatemala for 2 years. So when I was 10 and 11, or somewhere in that age, 9 and 10, we went to Guatemala for 2 years, and it was like the greatest blessing in my life. And I just want more than anything to be able to give my kids that travel. And you're just living the dream, man. So I want to, something that you just mentioned, and you keep talking about, there's a word that's coming up as you're talking, and there's so much wisdom. I wish I had an interview like this when I first started in the home business industry, because there's a word that's coming up as you're talking about this, and that's leverage. If you want to, and all the multimillionaires that I've interviewed and talked to, and the mentors that I have, those guys are, guys and gals have found a way to leverage their time, because we all get the same 24 hours in a day. And what I found that a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in this trap, especially the high income earning entrepreneurs, or even in corporate America, where they make great money. Maybe they make multiple six figures a year, mid six figures and higher, but they have zero time with their family. So what's the point of all this, right? And you've really, you found a sweet spot, a leverage with being able to partner with the largest e-commerce retailer in the world, who you can ship your products to. They put them on the shelves for you. They manage them for you. They pack them for you. They ship them for you. They do customer service for you. And you can, of all the activities of a business owner, there's, business is just a system of systems. You can focus your time into a couple key areas. You mentioned sourcing suppliers, and I want to talk to you about this in just a second here. Connecting with new suppliers, and then managing inventory and replenishing. So those are three things you just mentioned that you can focus your time on too. But there's two different ways to sell on Amazon. I want you to clarify this, because you can drop ship on Amazon, and then you can ship with FBA. So can you just clarify the difference of those? Because you started off just posting, and you can list, if I want to sell my coffee mug, I could take a picture of this, and I don't have to send it to Amazon. They'll sell it, but then I would be still required to do the shipping, the packing, the customer service. So could you just clarify the difference between those two?
Yeah, so Amazon's terminology is merchant fulfilled. So that means either way you list it the same way, right? So you list the product, but when you finalize the listing, you either pick, I will ship this item myself if it sells, or I want Amazon to ship this item for me if it sells. Okay, so when you do merchant fulfilled, it's just like Gabe said. So you could do drop shipping. I could source a product on eBay or on Walmart, or just different sites. And I find it for less. I post it on Amazon, and when it sells, then I take that customer's shipping information. I go to Walmart. I put my credit card info in there. I have it shipped directly to their address, and within 2 weeks, Amazon pays you out. You're like on a 2 week pay cycle to where you have money that hits your bank, right? And so that's how you can drop ship. The only thing I would caution, which I wasn't aware of this in the beginning, but when drop shipping on Amazon, it does work, but like the handling time. Okay, so you really need to make sure with your suppliers, what type of shipping service they're using. And first, like an example, firsthand example, experience that I had is I had a company that said they were shipping FedEx. So, and it would show me the estimated date that it was set to deliver. And like this was right before Christmas. So it's like showing like it'll be there by the 23rd, it'll be there by the 22nd. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, we're set, it'll be there. And so what ends up happening is come to find out they're using what they call FedEx Smart Post. Okay. What FedEx Smart Post is they partnered up with USPS. They send all these boxes to USPS, and then USPS, like in the customer's local town, they sort through all these, and it takes an extra day or two on top of that to deliver to them.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know that before. So and that was majority of this one product I found that was selling like hotcakes. That's the system they were using. So like Amazon tracks the metrics of when it ships out. So you like have handling time in days. Like you want to look at that setting if you're going to be doing drop shipping, and make sure it's set to where Amazon internally, like if you make the sell, you want to have 2 to 3 days pad so you can get the tracking from the supplier, you know, that you paid to have the item shipped to your customer. Because if you get off on your metrics, your account can get suspended. Like they track every single order. Did this ship on time? And then the second thing they're looking at is, did it deliver on time? You know, did it deliver in the expected date range? You know, you said it would be there in 5 to 6 days. You know, it took 8 to 10 days. Well, they're going to ding your account and you're going to get a mark.
Okay.
So, you know, yeah, I mean, that's some of the cons, you know, or just some things to be aware if you're going to be drop shipping on Amazon. So that's merchant fulfilled if you're doing drop shipping.
Okay.
The FBA, once again, once you publish the listing, you pick, hey, I want Amazon to ship this if it sells. And then they will take you through like a pretty systematic thing through their system. They have how-to videos, like tutorials of how to create what they call an FBA shipment. And so you'll just like, they'll tell you how they want everything boxed. So like if you buy like 10 of a single item, you can say it's a case of 10 of that item. It weighs, you know, 10 pounds. The box dimensions are 12 by 16 by 18. And, you know, you're able to print off a shipping label from Amazon with a greatly discounted rate that they have an arrangement with UPS. Pop the label on your box, either have UPS come pick it up or you take it to a local UPS. They send it to their FBA center. And then once it arrives, you get notified it's arrived at their center. They get it checked in, and then you see it live in your inventory. You know, they notify you when it's live. And then, like I said, then it starts selling, and they take care of it from there. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so walk me through this process, because I can hear, you know, if someone's starting from scratch, and it's really encouraging that you've built. I mean, you know, the 225K in net profit you made last year was off of what, 25? You said 25 products basically.
Yeah, that was majority of the income. You know, I think, you know, I did a little bit of there's all sorts of methods. There's a method called retail arbitrage, you know, and that's kind of how I started out, where you can like go out to brick and mortar stores and like Target, Kohl's, Walmart, Ross, you know, just any store like that, Big Lots, whatever. And you're finding items in there. You got your smartphone out. There's little apps called Profit Bandit, Scan Power. Amazon even has an app. You scan the barcode, and then it kind of spits out like, if you buy it for X amount and it's selling for this on Amazon, this is how much profit you'll make. Okay. So when you do that method, you know, usually you're buying like clearance or closeout items, and you can't replenish those. It's like, it's what we kind of joke around as like onesies and twosies, right? It's,
I mean,
like
you buy the lot and then you ship it in, and that's their, that's the it. There's no more.
Yeah. So I had some of those just because I wanted to test that method and see how it worked, and it did work. But that was another one where I saw like, you know, I can either be out like 6 to 8 hours a day at Walmart and Target and all these places, running around like a madman and shipping all this stuff in, or you know, I can sit on my bottom online and find people that will do it for me, you know, and source products a different way that saves me more time. So, but yeah, there was probably a total of like 200 SKUs or units, but only about 20 to 25 of those were items I could continually get when I got low on stock or ran out.
So you started in drop shipping. That evolved into the retail arbitrage, where you're going out to Walmart and Ross and different places and buying up their, you know, the last of whatever it is. And what kind of items is this? I mean, this is all kinds of stuff, right? Kitchenware, whatever.
Oh,
like give me an example.
Everything, like little Hello Kitty karaoke machine, little like an iPhone, like a bike mount holder that holds an iPhone, you know, up on the handlebars. You know, video games, DVDs. I bought this little like remote control caddy, like that you put on your end table and you put your remote controls in it. I got one of those on clearance at Walmart for like $1 or $2. They were selling for like 25, $30 on Walmart or on Amazon.
On Amazon, okay.
So I got like 2 or 3 of those. It's like if I could have bought a whole warehouse full, I would have. But it was their clearance items from the holidays. They were blowing it out, and there was only two or three left. So you can make really good returns. And I think people starting out, that's a really good place to do it. I mean, it takes a little more time and energy than some other methods, but if you kind of have limited capital starting out, you can find some really good deals with retail arbitrage to where you can buy very, very low and sell high on
Hmm.
Amazon, make really good profit.
Okay, so you're doing doing the retail arbitrage, and the pro is it's inexpensive to get into. You can buy some inventory for on the cheap. The downside is you're using your time, and there's no replenishing strategy, so it's not a real sustainable business model for the long term. And then you transition into FBA. So walk me through this, and we'll just put a bow tie in this interview because we could talk into details. I know you've got a group and you've got like 15 different webinars that you've gone through all this stuff in detail. So we'll talk about that in just a second and how someone can get involved in that. But what's just walk me through now when you source. I mean, what's an average day like? When you're working in your office, how much are you working each week now, and what are you spending your time doing now? Because you're not leaving the house doing the arbitrage stuff. You're doing this all online now. So just walk me through that if you could.
Yeah, well, I need to get a little more disciplined because lately I've just kind of been messing around. I haven't done a whole lot. I mean, I'm reaching back out to suppliers. I've found two really good suppliers that have sourced me awesome products throughout last year. One got low on inventory towards the end of last year, but I just got with him this past week, so I've kind of been going back and forth with him. I always treat all my suppliers very good. I treat everyone good, but I mean, it's like I make an intention to keep connected with them. Like if I haven't heard from them for a while, just hey, how you doing? I know like one of them's dad's been in the hospital. He's been dealing with cancer. I know if my people are going through stuff, I know their kids, their all that stuff. Just people buy from people. So I establish good relationships with them, and I'm always very good with them. Like if they make an offer to me and I think the margins are a little tight, I'll let them know, hey, this is a little tight. Margins tight, meaning there's not enough profit in this item.
Mm-hmm.
If I buy it for this dollar amount and go to sell it, and competition comes in, I just don't feel that comfortable. I could lose money on that.
Mm-hmm.
But like if they're presenting offers to me, and I think it's a fair offer, it's good for me, it's good for them. Like I don't beat them up. Some people are trained to beat your suppliers up. You Jew people down, you work them down, you get products for as low as you can, and I don't believe in that mindset. I mean, I think if it's a win-win for me and a win-win for them, then they associate Zach as the good guy. So like
Right.
when I reach out to them or that they get a brand new product offer, they're like, Zach's one of the best guys to deal with. I'm going to send him the info. So I really work on keeping connected and keeping good relationships with my suppliers. Recently I've hired out a person. I go into a little bit of this on my group, but I've outsourced someone. I train them how to do what I do in finding products, and I told them, you got to look for products this rank, this much markup, this category. You know, I gave them all the criteria of what they're looking for, so they're building a spreadsheet for me. So I'll just spend time as they're building it, going through the items, reaching out to suppliers that supply those products from the sources the person found for me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing that makes you the most money, because you got to sell product in this business to make money. So like you always need to be finding new product, purchasing new product, sending product in. I've also outsourced. I got an assistant this year to where any stuff that, like, some suppliers that I have, they can ship directly to Amazon FBA for you. You just provide them the shipping label, so you never even have to touch the product. Some of them, they don't do that. So you have to have them shipped to your house or somewhere and have someone ship them into Amazon FBA for you. So I hired someone this year that can do all that fulfillment stuff for me. So once again, I'm buying myself more time freedom, more time for me to source product and make more money that way. But then also, just if I want to be with my kids or, play around in the Facebook group or do stuff that doesn't make me as much money, then I can do that if I want to. So
So
so that's probably what a normal day looks like, as far as just I review offers. I review emails, Facebook messages. I'm analyzing product. I'm seeing, is this something good to bring into inventory or not? I go through all the criteria that we discuss in the group,
mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much what I do. And then I'll log into my account every day to look at my reports, see what items are selling, see if I need to adjust pricing, see if I'm low on inventory, if I need to send any new stuff in. That's probably one of the other main things I do on a daily basis.
Okay, man. So how much would you say you're working each day, just on average?
Um, Recently, like just focused fully on Amazon, that stuff, maybe 1 to 2 hours max, because I'm trying to build up my inventory. Like I have a goal of making $1 million profit on Amazon this year, but it's not working 60, 70 hours a week, killing myself to do it. It's like,
Hmm.
how can I do this smarter? Who can I contract out? Who can I outsource to do these tasks? So I can focus on the things that will make my business the most money. So that's really what I'm doing. Yeah.
So I love this, man. You and I share that. I'm a minimalist when it comes to work too. The purpose of having a business is to have time freedom. And I said that word last night to my wife, and she didn't get it. She's like, "Don't you mean freedom of time?" I'm like, "No, time freedom, like a verb." And she didn't quite get that. She's an attorney. She just passed the bar, so she's in a totally different. She's like in work mode right now. She had an interview yesterday. She's got one on Friday. She's like hunting right now, so it's a totally different space. But that's why we start businesses in the first place. Time freedom to do what you love, to enjoy life, because none of us knows how long we have here. And the purpose, a lot of business owners get into business and they find themselves working more than they were in their corporate jobs, and that
Yeah.
defeats the purpose. And so you're just a poster child of that, man. So I'm glad to have you on this. But let's talk about, you created a top secret Facebook group that you've listed a whole bunch of resources in there. I've been in the access. I've been playing around in your group the past week or so. You've got 15 different training videos that talks about, these are webinars that you've done and recorded and published in a very systematic way in the group that covers everything we're talking about, from how to do drop shipping to how to do, and we've only talked about retail arbitrage and Amazon FBA, but there's actually 5 key ways to make money. And when you and I get done with this interview, I know we've talked about doing some Google Hangouts, maybe talking more detail about the specifics, but you've got this training group, you've got a really unique broker service. So just to put a bow on this, and if someone's listening and wants to get access to this, I'll put this in the show notes. You can go to secretpartnergroup.com. We've set up a link for those that want to get more information about working with you directly. But walk us through, what is the Facebook group? Why did you start it, and what's going on over there?
Well, it's really a support group. We discussed the experience both you and I had of, we've been in and out of these different MLM network marketing things, and we have a following. We have a group of people that, like, we sincerely have their best interest in heart. We care for them. Like, they've trusted us enough to go on these business ventures with us, and it's like we want to see them succeed, right?
Totally.
So initially it was mainly just for that group of people, for friends, family, business associates. I didn't go out like broadcasting, cold marketing, email lists, just trying to build this massive thing up. It was just like, I want these people that I personally know to succeed. So I'm gonna show them my Amazon back office. I'm gonna show them everything I've learned, all my skill sets, how I source product. Pretty much everything we discussed. I think those 15, 16 videos have like over 20, 23 hours worth of content. So it's like people see the exact products I have, how I found them, everything. They had to sign a non-disclosure agreement to get in the group, because like I don't want people like hijacking my info or trying to sell the same stuff I'm selling, and stuff like that. So that's really like the purpose of the group, is to give people all the tools they need to have success on Amazon, using FBA, or drop shipping or retail arbitrage or any of those things. So
Mm-hmm.
like if that's one of the main things. Then secondly, we have the bulk purchasing program, to where these suppliers we're connected with, some of my own personal product that I sell through my account, and other products that have awesome criteria that we go through to make sure they meet all this criteria before we offer it to the group. We have what we call buying power. So it's like, when you get to connecting with suppliers, some of them are like, hey, you can have this awesome product. It has amazing rank on Amazon, awesome profit margins. All the criteria is awesome, but look, in order to get this awesome deal, you got to buy 1,000 of them. And it's like, okay, do I want to spend $40,000 on this, or maybe 8 of us in the group could spend 5,000 each, or it doesn't have to be that amount. I'm just throwing figures out, but
Mm-hmm.
um, it gives us the opportunity to go wider on inventory, and sometimes we can buy products that we normally wouldn't have access to, because of the buying power in the group. So like, together we can all go in on deals that we can share products that do enough sales volume, which means enough of them sell on Amazon daily to where even if five of us are selling the same thing, we all get a good amount of sales.
Hmm.
My goal is always on a daily basis. I want to see products turning daily with the methods I use. So that's another thing, and then, I really think in our group, I've tried to put everything in place to help anyone succeed, whether you got a lot of money with no time, no money, no time, no money, a lot of time, like whatever criteria. There's no reason someone could not succeed with all the tools that they have access to in the group.
So I want to clarify this because and this is what I first saw on you post on Facebook. This is why I reached out to you to pull you on the interview, and why I saw just a ton of value in what you're doing. Because there's a lot of great systems out there to learn this. You and I have invested a lot of money. I've invested, oh gosh, I don't know, 2-3 grand in a drop shipping program. I know there's other programs out there that sell for $2,000-$3,000. And it's all great information, but you literally created a top secret Facebook group just for friends and family. You had no intention of opening it up beyond that. How many members are in the group right now, roughly?
Well, it's up to about 140. Like I opened it up in January, and I think we've had 30 or 40 people join. Sometimes I close it, because once again, it's not a thing where I'm trying to get a zillion people in there and like I'm making all my money on the group. Like I said, last year I made 9 grand from the group and 225,000 from Amazon. It wasn't the other way around,
Yeah.
like some gurus do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, so from time to time, we open it for people to be a part of it. If we feel we need more buying power in the group, or we think it's a good move for the group as a whole, but like we don't want it oversaturated. Our intention isn't to have a zillion people in it, So yeah.
So I love this, man. This is why I reached out to you. Full transparency for you guys watching. When I reached out to Zach, I said, "Hey, man. First of all, I've seen what you're doing. I know you're a man of integrity. You're a man of faith. Like Zach and I share that in common." And I said, first off, I want to know what you're doing because this is an area that I wanted to move my business, and I've seen a lot of my friends creating a lot of freedom. And you're not the only one, Zach. I've got a handful of buddies who have transitioned away from traditional internet marketing, the traditional info space, into the Amazon FBA space for the pure reason of leverage. You're able to partner with an Amazon giant like that. So I said, Zach, I want to know what you're doing. But then when I looked inside the group that he created and saw all the great content that you've created, saw the community, and really that's what's important, right? You're watching this interview. You can go out and the stuff that Zach shared already, go out and take action. You can go to your local store and start profiting just from the information you shared, but you're going to hit a roadblock. And that's the reality of any business. And so I love what you've created, Zach, because you've built a community. Not only is there great training and resources, which is, there's a lot of places to get that information, but it's the actual, you really open up your playbook. You show the actual products you're investing in. You show your actual Amazon back office. You walk through exactly how to do each of these, and then there's a community to support each other. But the really unique thing that you've created about this group that I love is your brokers list. And I think this is extremely unique to what you've created because it allows someone who has maybe not a lot of startup capital, but they have the time to go invest and source deals. They can go source deals and send them to you. You'll go through and find the good ones, and then you actually offer those up to the group and allow other people to invest in shares of those. So you say, hey guys, we got 400 units. We're going to do 4 lots of 100 each, and so you can have 4 different investors in the group invest. You put the deal together, and you have someone else source it. So it's really a win-win-win situation. So if someone has not a lot of startup capital, but a lot of time, they can go through your training in the broker program and actually partner with you and partner with other members of the group to fulfill those. And likewise, someone that has some excess cash that they want to invest, this is a great way for someone to get a return on their income without having to put a lot of time in. So it's really a win-win for both. But is there anything that's really unique that I saw to what you're doing with the broker program?
Well, yeah, I'm glad you hit on that because and practically, to add to what Gabe was saying was, I'll give you a couple examples. Some people might follow it a little more. Like, there's a guy named Devin in our group that, like in December, I had him out doing arbitrage stuff for me, right? Like he was finding product because I wasn't going to go out, but he was. So I paid him commission for going out and doing it for me. So like, he had his money invested in his Amazon business. It was all tied up. So he didn't have extra funds. Like he was making good money on Amazon, but, he wanted to make more income and get more capital to invest into his business. So, I put together this broker program and, I think he made like in December around $1,900, just from sourcing products from the group. And like from time to time, we'll have like little broker contests going. So as Gabe was saying, like if, you need to learn how to source product and connect with suppliers anyway, whether you're doing it for your own business or, if you don't have capital yet, you're going to have to learn at some point in time. So why not go ahead and do it? Learn how to source, learn how to find products. You present them to me, and then you make a commission. And that's how you can build up capital to put into your own business. And I think collectively, right now this month, we might be close to $2,000 paid out in commissions to brokers in the group that have went out and found groups and or found products that the group can buy. And so it's like a win-win for everyone. So
It's really
pretty
cool. Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's unique from, I mean, I've seen, all the other systems out there. I'm a maven like that. I just study and grab information from what's out there. And that's a really unique opportunity you've put together. So I brought you on here, Zach, and to give you guys a backstory, I sought Zach out and I partnered with Zach on this project because I saw so much value in what he was doing, and I saw such a great opportunity for new people. And when I got to poke around your group, I said, man, this is awesome. And I know that your intention, Zach, wasn't to blow this up. You make, of your household revenue, 90% of your revenue comes from your Amazon business. So the little bit, you charge a monthly subscription fee to be a part of the group. And you and when I say twisted your arm, guys, I literally called Zach like months ago, sought him out. This isn't like I know you hear that I twisted Zach's arm to come to the interview, but I literally twisted Zach's arm because he doesn't need to share this information, and he doesn't need, I mean, you've got a nice little group now, but we talked and I said, hey man, let's, it would prosper everybody if we can go enroll a couple extra 100 people into this group. It just allows more buying power for the group and helps more people free, and it's a win-win for everybody. So I asked Zach if he would open this up for a season. We don't know how long this group's going to be open, and there's a very selective process. Zach asked me to maintain the integrity of the group, so there is an NDA if you want to be a part of Zach's group, Zach and Natalie's top secret Amazon group, and then he has a second group that's a buyer's list that you'll learn about if you decide to partner with them. But just walk someone through, Zach. I know there's a digital NDA, and I've been working with you to set up a checkout process for you. So how much is the group, and to be a part of it? And if someone does want to be a part of the group, what is the kind of NDA process, or what should they expect if they want to join?
Yeah, absolutely. So the price point, it's $47 a month or 49 something. I can't remember. Somewhere just shy of $50. Okay, that's how much it runs a month, and that gives you full access to all the training, the support system, the product offers that we offer to the group. We failed to hit on, Gabe, that we do live weekly webinars. I don't know how that will look like in the summer when all my kids are here. But as much as my lifestyle allows me to, I keep engaged in the group. I'm posting content almost on a daily basis. We got a Q&A, question and answer post in the group to where you ever have any questions, you can comment on it. Either my admins in the group can answer or I'll answer. So as Gabe was saying, the community, the support system, you'll have access to that. So that's what you'll do. So you'll you can get more information on it. I think somewhere on this page, there's a link you can click. You can put your email or info in it, and it's $49. And then we have, like, on the sign up process, there's a Q&A. Okay, so like we have questions, and the reason we do that is just like Gabe shared, like we're protecting the integrity of the group. Like, very seldom do I not let someone in, but like I've had people that like I think one of the questions I had once was like, why do you think you would be a good fit for our group? And the person just put pass. And I was like, what? And he's like, pass. I didn't want to answer it. And I'm like, okay, like, you're wanting to get into this group. We're going to teach you how you can make 6-7 figure income. And I'm asking you how you would benefit the group. You're going to get along with people, and you don't even want to answer the question. It's like, I just didn't feel right. So like we don't want people like who are selfish or who are coming for the wrong reasons, who are going to try to hijack this info or copy what other people are trying to sell, or, because we police that and monitor that closely. Just because, like I said, I mean, you got people's livelihood at stake in the group. We're very transparent. There's a big, huge amount of trust in this group. Like I said, I'm opening up the doors to what made me $225,000 last year. You're seeing my back office, everything I did to accomplish that. And so, I mean, if people get stupid, I mean, that could go away quickly for me and my family.
Yeah.
So there's a huge level of trust. But so you go through that, you do the NDA, and then you get signed up. You'll see a little video with an overview of the group, and then I personally review all those that come through. And then you send me a Facebook friend request, and if you meet all the criteria, then we add you to the group. You'll get immediate access to it. So that's kind of the way it works. And I normally don't work on the weekends, and
I know that for a fact.
yeah.
Try to schedule an interview for Saturday, and Zach's like, "Nope, don't work on the Saturday." I'm like, "Hey, I love it." So,
Yeah, don't always work on evenings. Sometimes I do. Like if the kids are down and my wife wants to watch a Hallmark show or something, I'll have my laptop in there while that's going. But so as soon as I get to it, I make an attempt to get it to it as soon as I can. But then I'll add you to the group, and yeah, you'll have immediate access to all the awesome content, support, everything you need to succeed if you decide to go this route.
awesome, man. So let's just put a recap on this. And when Zach and I started, I said, "Hey, let's do like a 30-minute interview." And as typical, there's so much great content. We got a little longer, but I appreciate your time, Zach. So just to recap, guys, this top secret group that Zach has set up, this is something that he built initially for his friends and family as a resource, just to open up his playbook. We're very protective of who gets a part of this. So there's zero tolerance for monkey business, and that's why we ask the questions. This is not your typical your typical checkout process for the group. We'll ask you the initial questions to make sure you're a good fit. There's a digital NDA. Please read that. You'll click accept at the bottom of that page. That basically says you're not going to share any of the info in the group. This is Zach's actual business. There's a lot of liability that he's put on the line to share this with you. And then you'll have access to checkout. $49 a month is the application fee to be a part of the group. You have the option to pay for a year subscription, and we give you a discount. I believe at the time we set this up, it's $100 off, which is 2 months free if you pay for the year in advance. And really, that's for you to set your mindset. I mean, Zach, I want you to, as we talk in closing, kind of your intention behind the group. But I know when someone starts a new venture, you really want to commit to it. So we don't want people that are tire kickers. As far as we've talked about this too, there's no refunds for the group. So if you're the kind of person that buys a product and you want like 100% money back guarantee, Zach literally has opened up his playbook. The 15 training modules he's put in there is the equivalent of what other people are selling for $2,000. So the $49 a month is a very nominal fee to be a part of this and have direct access to Zach, his mentoring, the group they're mentoring, and my mentoring in that group as well. You're getting just a ton of value for that. So when you start off, set your intention to invest this year to winning, right? You're not going to succeed by sticking your toe in the water with this or any business. So we give you the option to commit for the year. And then when you check out, Zach's also got a buyer's group. You'll get more information about that. It's actually a secondary group where you get early access to the deals as they come down, and you have a one-time offer to be a part of that, and Zach shares that as well. And at the end of that process, I'm telling you, the actual checkout process, there'll be a button on the last page that will have a welcome video for you with the details about the group, and then a button to connect with Zach directly on Facebook, and he will confirm that you indeed have checked out, have passed the criteria, and then he will let you in the group. So I share that with you just to give you, full transparency up front of what to expect. This is a program that I'm recommending, Zach, and I've told you this. I've got a handful of high-end clients that I work with in my 6-week ignition program and our legacy program. And I originally reached out to you, Zach. I have 2 specific clients, actually 3 clients right now, 2 that are in Australia and 1 that's here in the States, that are all asking me. They all want to shift from their current business models into Amazon. And I didn't have someone to recommend to them. I didn't feel confident about the other info products until I connected with you and said, here's a guy that I feel aligned with in your spiritual mission and what you and Natalie are up to in life, in your minimalist approach to business that allows an average person the opportunity to start a business on the internet and create real time freedom. So I don't know if I missed anything, Zach. I think that pretty much wraps up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess the only thing that popped in my mind, which I think is important, I mean, I kind of hit on this, and we both did as we shared our story, but really, yeah, commitment. It's a marathon. It's not a race. I mean, I believe if someone hops in full-heartedly and just is engaged and gives it their all, I think they could start seeing results within 30, 60, 90 days. But, I truly believe if people can't find success in the group, I don't think they will anywhere. I truly believe that. And I believe, we've both done home parties, MLM, network marketing, recruiting, you name it, we've done it. And I sincerely mean it when I say I haven't seen anything as good as Amazon. I mean, it's amazing. it's amazing. That's all I can say. So
it is a blessing, man. So, well, this wraps it up, guys. So, if you want to be a part and apply to be a part of Zach and Natalie's Top Secrets partner group, go to secretpartnergroup.com. That's the private link. I appreciate your time for listening to this interview. So, secretpartnergroup.com. And Zach, in closing words, if you were, and I love asking this question. I usually ask this question to people I have on the show just for perspective, but if you were to start over from scratch today and your Amazon business went away, you're not using your email list, but you had to start over from scratch today, what would you do starting today to rebuild, like over the next 30 days to rebuild your income from scratch?
I would probably hop right into this group, and I would learn how to source product. And if I didn't have any income, I would learn how to source product, and I would take it to the leader of the group, and I would send him as many deals as possible to where like he's covered in them. Zach's sending him like he's seeing 100 emails from me a day on offers. And I would learn the criteria of what to look for in offers. And, I would build up as much commission as possible from that, because that takes, it takes time to find those, but that's something I have to learn to do anyway. And that's the quickest way for me to make income. I possibly would do a little bit of drop shipping just to build a little more revenue up. And then as soon as I start seeing profits, I would hop into retail arbitrage. I know it takes time, but I could, I know you can make really high returns, if you shop right and find really good stuff in brick and mortar stores. And then as soon as I'm able to get into bulk purchasing, meaning, buying more than probably 10, 20, 30 units at a time, I would just start finding really hot items that sell really good, awesome rank, good profit margins. And I would continue to sell those and replenish those and just keep rolling my profit back into the business until I grow it up to, hit the income level I want to be at. So
awesome, man. Well, usually when I ask that question, I get all kinds of different answers from people because they always go back to their experience. But what I love about what you just said is this is the opportunity that somebody that's watching this interview right now actually has. They can go be a part of this group. They can get access to your direct mentorship. They can follow the exact model you're using to create this time freedom. And it's not like theoretically, here's what you could do. Here's what you actually have the opportunity to do. So the call to action for today, guys, if you're interested in partnering with Zach and myself, head over to secretpartnergroup.com. That'll give you the link to the questionnaire, the digital NDA, and then the checkout process. And hey, man, Zach, I appreciate your time. I've got so many other questions for you about how to get your products ranked, how do you source the right products, how do you get on the buy box, and I know you and I are planning on doing some videos for YouTube, and then all this information's in the group, so we'll have to continue this. But I really appreciate your time, man. I know that
no problem.
You work a couple hours a day, and you got a webinar right after this. So today you might be working 4 hours today. It might be a long day for you.
In all honesty, I am trying to. I think I can fit in 5 to 6 hours a day this year, 5 days a week, but not during the summer.
Not when the kids are home.
I don't know, but yeah, it was fun, man. I'm looking forward to doing more in the future, and we appreciate you all hanging out with us. Thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Awesome, man. Thank you. We'll catch you soon, buddy.
All right, thanks.